Ladies and gentlemen, let's GamerToday.com video. We're going to be taking a look at Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes on the PC versus the PlayStation 4. There is an article in the video description which I'd recommend you check out if you want high resolution images as well as much more descriptions regarding the differences between the two versions. There's also links, of course, for 4K versus the PC, so you can check out what the game looks like rendered with downsampling, as well as high resolution video downloads if you want uncompressed versions of a video. Anyway, with that all said, let's jump in. So what are the differences, what are the changes for the PC version? Well, there have been numerous improvements to the lighting, high resolution support, of course, higher frame rate, shadows have naturally been improved. There's also SSAO and a few other bits and pieces, so we're going to blast through some of them. Obviously, if you want more, do check out the article. So one of the definite improvements you're going to notice is for the lighting. The game supports not only higher quality lighting, in other words they're going to look brighter and more realistic, but there's more of them. You're going to notice that definitely at the start when you kind of go towards Camp Omega, there's more light sources, and that also naturally portrays into the shadows. Not only do you get more shadows, and they're also higher resolution, but they're also filtered, meaning the edges do look a lot smoother. Now, in regards to the lighting, it's very important that we do discuss that the game does support SSAO on the PC release, which was not really a feature in regards to the into the PS4. Now, it's a pity we don't see HBAO, or better still HBAO+, but even so, it does mean that shadows are much more realistic because you get objects, small objects that will block, say, the travel of light, now look and react as you would expect, rather than sometimes the light just passing through them, which could be a bit of a problem on the PS4 version. Speaking of a little bit of a problem, there is one small issue I have with the PC version, and that is screen filtering does quite a lot. I have named all of the options in the article, but suffice to say, it not only enables some very important effects for the PC to make it look a lot nicer, but unfortunately it also enables a post-process anti-aliasing. Now, you can get away with this a couple of ways. One, you can enable downsampling, which does help, and the second option is you can enable MSAA, but it doesn't 100% cover up the problem. I must say that screen space reflections do have their place and allows various objects to reflect off of shiny or reflective surfaces, for example pools of water, and you'll also of course see it from glass and so forth. This of course is a new feature in the PC version and could not be accurately portrayed on the PS4 version. I have to say, overall the performance of the PC version is pretty impressive. There are some issues, primarily if you're running on a small amount of VRAM. So for example, a card with 1 GB is certainly going to have to turn down the detail and preferably the resolution. This game ideally is suited to 2 GB plus. However, if you do have a 2 GB card, for example a GTX 760 or an R9 280, or those about cards, you're certainly going to be able to play pretty much all of the details at maximum, but you're probably going to be best served locking the game down to 30 FPS, in other words enabling that lock there. And additionally, you'll probably not want to play past 1080p, or you're going to run into frame issues simply because you're going to start getting data being basically passed through the PCIe bus from the slower DDR3 memory, simply because the card runs out of VRAM, which isn't particularly ideal. But if you do own a mid-range GPU, you're certainly going to be able to play on graphics that do look a little bit better than that of the PC. Than that of the PS4. While it may appear that the PS4 version looks a little bit sharper in some areas and the PC looks a little blurry almost, most of this is down to depth of field effect. Effectively speaking, the depth of field effect is more accurate on the PC. I personally think it might be a little bit overzealous, but I get where they're going from. It's more cinematic and it primarily affects the cutscenes. The idea, of course, is that it blurs the details on things that it thinks are superfluous and thus focuses in on a particular object. On the PS4 version, you'll notice that it's not quite accurate and sometimes the object itself becomes slightly blurred. on the PC. It's a little bit more accurate, although as I said, I would have liked to have turned it down just a hair. I do think it's a little bit too much. Overall, I'm extremely impressed with the Fox engine on the PC. It really makes me pine and wonder what we're going to be seeing for the Phantom Pain when it finally sees a release. If you're wondering whether, you know, they did a good job, yes, they did, and it runs absolutely beautifully. There are a couple of issues that we're going to be going through a little bit more detail in a 4K video, so do check that one out, and of course, do read the article if you need more. Anyway, with that said, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Take care, bye for now.